All right, there, Latin 3, chapter 100, Afloat Again. Before I get started, I mentioned in the last chapter that I really do hope that you all are parsing still. I really strongly recommend you all parse. Talk it out with each other, group chat it. You don't have to involve me if you don't want to, but I would love to take a look at your translations of each chapter as you're doing it. Send it to me. But also, any parsing you want to do underneath that, please do, because the parsing really does help your Latin overall. If we were in class, we would be doing that at least one day a week where we only parse. And that would be all kinds of points for you because there's the incentive. But by and large, it's a really good practice. Ask anybody in Latin 4 how much it helps. It does help. I mean, you all saw how much it helped with the highlighting, and I hope you're still doing that. But more importantly, the parsing really does help with the translations. And then the translations help with the parsing. They just feed each other. It's nice. All right, so 100, Afloat Again. On the following day of that day, Ulysses was having in mind, intended, to depart as quickly as possible from that island. However, Circe, when she realized this, or when she learned these things, her mind was turned, right? Yeah, she was turned from hatred to love, because this is a Disney movie after all. She was turned from hatred to love, and with all the prayers, all the beseechings, she began to beg him and to stand in his way that he stay with her a few days. Quare tandem at last impetrata tanta beneficia in eum contulit. Yes, at last when this thing was impetrata, was immovable. She was immovable in this so much that, or at last, with this thing, being unmoved in this thing, she gave great thanks to him, so that she would easily persuade him to stay longer with her. So she did such nice things that it was easier for her to persuade him to stay longer. And what you see there, interestingly enough, is the ut facile e persuasum sit, so that would be purpose, or actually that would be result, and then ut diutus maneret, that would be an indirect command. So you can just stack them up. However, after he'd taken up a whole year with Circe, remember he was within sight of home, and then he spends a year with Circe. So we screen wipe, I guess. Ulysses was moved with a huge desire for his homeland. I notice his wife is missing in most of this. Therefore, once he had called his allies to him, he showed them what he had in mind. However, when he headed down to the shore, his ship had been all but destroyed. Adflictam is affected, but I'm going to say all but destroyed by such a storm, or such storms, that it was almost useless for sailing. When he realized these things, he ordered everything to be prepared which would be of use to fixing a ship. And when things were, he held, and when qua in re, in these tasks, everyone held such diligence, so steadfastness of duty, that before the third day, the entire work was accomplished. So he told them, let's get to work. But Circe, when she saw that everything was prepared for setting out, she took the news badly, and she violently or vehemently begged Ulysses that he cease his plan. However, Ulysses, lest, and I'm going to use lest here because it sounds cooler, lest he be held back from sailing for the time of another year, he thought that he should hurry. Notice there's an essay missing, but that's still a gerundive of obligation. And he set sail under ideal weather for sailing. Indeed, Ulysses had to undergo many dangers before he reached before he came into his homeland, which dangers, however, is too long to write down here. So that's kind of his version of, but that is another story. So that's the end of Ritchie's. So when you're done with that, you can start on the Catullus, which I will have posted for you. Please look through the whole document because there are grammar notes and all kinds of notes. The thing I can tell you about Catullus is this. He is a sad pervert. Work to your level of modesty, and I will try to tamp down my level of modesty so that I have one. But I'm going to try to keep it as authentic as possible as well. So you might hear some naughty words. But the grammar is really, really fun, and it's good Latin to get into. The AP test used to be based on Catullus, at least part of it, but now it's shifted, but I still think it's a worthwhile enterprise to get used to poetry so that next year when we do Caesar and we do Virgil, you're going to be just rocking it. All right, that's the end of Ulysses. I'm going to hit the button.